As an iPad producer, there's only a few essential pieces of hardware you absolutely need in your studio, and one of those is a quality audio interface to hook up your mics and your instruments to your iPad. And for years, the Focusrite Scarlett has been the top dog of affordable class-compliant audio interfaces. But with iPad music making on the rise, a lot of companies are coming for their piece of that pie, and Universal Audio has now entered the group chat with the Volt 2. In this video, I'm going to share my experience with this solid piece of studio gear and tell you why I think it deserves a spot on your desk. What is up, creatives? It's Jarrell, your music technologist, and I am pumped to be back here making videos for you guys. If you're wondering where in the world I've been for so long, that's fair. But go and check out the update live stream that I did recently. Check out the replay. And you'll get to see why I'm in this new location, where I've been, what I've been up to, and what's coming in the future for this channel. But no, more content is definitely coming, and it's coming at you rapid fire. All that aside, let's definitely check out the Volt 2 that I have here in studio. Now, disclaimer, UA, that's Universal Audio, did send me this product, but my opinions always stay my own. They did not give me any specific things to say about this product, and I'm just going to give you guys my experience and what I think about it and why I think it might be good for you. So first things first, the Volt 2 is a bus-powered, class-compliant, quality audio interface for music production. It works with macOS, Windows, and iPadOS, which is super dope. You may be familiar with Universal Audio when it comes to audio interfaces like the Apollo Twin. It's been an industry-leading audio interface for years, and unfortunately, it is not compatible with iPad because of the proprietary drivers. So when it comes to iPad music production, we love everything bus-powered and everything class-compliant. That bus-powered meaning you plug this in with a USB cable, it is powered, and you don't need any additional cables. On that note, the Volt 2 does come with an additional 5-volt DC power cable that you can plug in here, and that is in the case that whatever device you're using may not have enough power to power this thing. They do send you a cable included. But from my experience as an iPad producer, I have hooked this up to my iPad and I get plenty of juice, no issues, and it functions without that additional power. So I've just been using the USB-C and it's good to go. Now, class compliant, meaning you do not need any additional drivers to run this. So it's plug and play, and that's what we like around here. Right off the bat, this is coming in at $189 on Amazon. That is about $10 more than the Focusrite Scarlett. Technically, the Focusrite Scarlett is listed as originally being $199, but it goes for $179 almost all the time. It's pretty much always on sale. If it's not on sale, it'll be $199. So technically, sometimes this is cheaper than the Focusrite Scarlett. And with that, you also get access to a 30-day free trial of Universal Audio's brand new subscription service, UAD Spark, which is an ever-growing library of instrument and effects plugins that were formerly exclusive to owners of UA hardware, but are now available to anyone with a subscription. But when it comes to the hardware itself, you get some pretty dope build quality. So this thing's got some smudges from my fingerprints, but it's an all metal chassis. Like everything is metal. There's no plastic anywhere, unlike the Focusrite, which I love the Focusrite, by the way, and I've been using that for a good while now. But the Volt definitely has replaced the Focusrite on my desk, and some of those reasons I'm going to get into here in just a second. But one of those is the build quality. It's really solid. I think it looks really sleek on my desk, matches my aesthetic a lot more than the red Focusrite does. But I'll just give you the quick tour. So you got your two inputs, the combo jacks, where you can do XLR or the 1/4-inch cable. You have your two gain knobs here, one for each input. You've got the vintage button, the instrument button for both, and then you've got your phantom power button, the 48 volts, and you've got your monitor, your direct monitor, which you can either do in mono or stereo. And I will show you the color scheme for these buttons because I think it's pretty cool. I'm just going to plug it in real quick and we'll take a look. So boom, right there you've got the vintage buttons coming in as orange, the instrument buttons coming in as green. The direct monitor is blue when you have it set to the mono mode, and it is orange when you have it set to stereo. And then you have a 48 volt button here, and that is red, and it blinks a little bit and then it goes solid. and that is for an actual reason. It's a rolling start for the Phantom Power. What it does is it mutes your inputs for a minute while it gets the power ready and then turns your inputs back on. And that's actually a pretty dope feature because it prevents any unwanted popping from turning on the Phantom Power immediately. And that is a cool feature. So next to that, you've got your monitor volume. That's for these outputs in the back. And then you have your volume for the headphones right here. And this is your headphone jack, 1/4 inch there. And then a highly underrated feature on the back here. So you see there's a power switch. Now, you might not think this is terribly important, but as an iPad producer, this has become super helpful for me. So on iPads, when you plug in an audio device, I personally have everything hooked up to one cable coming from a dock. And that one cable, when I plug it in, everything just connects. And I have a monitor plugging into it as well, like a video monitor right here. And when I hook it up, sometimes it recognizes the speakers built into my monitor as the audio source rather than my audio interface, which is what I really want. And there's no way to change that without disconnecting your audio interface and reconnecting it. This makes it super easy to have a power switch here where you can just boom, boom, off, on, and it will recognize this now as the audio device. Now, I do know in iPad OS there is an audio switcher, but it doesn't let you switch between multiple hardware audio sources. It'll let you switch between different types of audio sources. So that power switch is definitely helpful, and that's something that's not on the Focusrite that I've enjoyed having here on the Volt 2. Now, when it comes to audio interfaces, the main thing you're looking for is how is the sound quality, and I can tell you sound quality is solid. From all the tests I've seen online and from what I've experienced, basically the Volt 2 comes in a cut above the Focusrite as far as audio quality goes. Now, is that a huge noticeable difference? I will say not really, no. Basically, either one would get the job done for you. So it's nice that UA offers that quality sound, and it's something that we expect from a company that made interfaces as dope as the Apollo Twin. So one of the unique features about the Volt 2 is this vintage mode here. This vintage mode does work on both instruments and microphones, so you can turn it on, and basically what it does is it adds a little bit of coloring to the sound. So you tend to notice a little bit of a bump in the highs between that 3 to 5 kilohertz range. And then it also, when you have an input that has a high enough volume, you start to get a little bit of a warm fuzz in the sound. It's not super dramatic, but it is a nice sound. It is what I would call a vintage coloring. The only caveat with that being, I wish it kicked in a little bit sooner. So basically, the volume has to be really high in order for that vintage mode to really be noticeable. So basically, if you have a volume that fluctuates a lot, you might not hear that effect very consistently. That's been my experience, but it's a nice feature. It is similar to Focusrite's Air button on their Scarlett 2i2. Theirs is a little bit different in my opinion when it comes to the sound, but either way, it's a nice coloring option if you want to use it. I'll include a couple samples right here so you can hear the difference. More than okay with the life I got. More than okay with the life I got. Another thing that the Volt 2 includes that the Focusrite does not is a MIDI in and out. So if you want to sync all of your MIDI devices going into whatever device you're plugging this into, you can run, the old school MIDI cable through here. I haven't messed with that because generally I just have USB MIDI going and not the classic MIDI. If you want to do that for clocking, it's here. It's an option. And I have confirmed in Beatmaker 3 on my iPad when I open it up, it does show the Volt 2 as a MIDI source, so it does work. Another small thing that I really do like about what Universal Audio has done with this Volt 2 is the packaging. And so I have the box right here that it comes in. This is the Volt 2 packaging. I've already opened it. Obviously, I've shown you the device, but when you open it up, you have this nice insert in here. There's the box that says Volt. And then you have the interface in here in this foam to keep it nice and safe in there. And then you have the box right here that comes with the, both of the cables were in here, and then a little bit of manual stuff. Then you got your QR code to get started here. I just thought the presentation is really solid for a device in this price range. Having good packaging is cool. Also makes it nice if you decide to resell this in the future. For comparison, the box that the Focusrite comes in is this right here, just your classic basic cardboard box, pretty small. But yeah, nothing that I think would sway my purchasing decision, but it's nice to have good packaging. All in all, the Volt 2 is a solid audio interface. I'm super happy with it. I recorded my most recent song called Enough using this audio interface. If you want to check that out, the link is down in the description where you can stream that. And all the vocals I recorded on there were using a Blue Spark condenser mic plugged directly into the Volt here. And I think it turned out pretty great. So at the end of the day, this is a huge win for iPad music producers because we're getting audio interfaces from reputable companies that are in budget and that sound great and give you quality audio. So definitely check out the Volt 2. I'll leave the link down in the description where you can pick it up. And until next time, creatives, go make something dope, and I'll see you in the next video.